What's up, YouTubers? It's me, Johnny. Haven't made a video in a while, so I decided to try to make a video. I'm in beautiful Alamogordo. Let me just adjust this real quick. Beautiful Alamogordo, New Mexico. Getting ready to have a Santa Fe Brewing beer. It's 7K IPA, about 7% alcohol. Never had it. I'm going to give it a try. Anyways, last time I made a video I was in Arizona, Phoenix. I'm here doing some business for some people. See if this tastes good. I like IPAs. I realize a lot of people don't really like them, but they're not for everyone. But this one tastes pretty good. Anyhow, I haven't made a video in a while. For the new viewers, originally I started the channel to make videos about living cheap in Latin America. You know, for $500 to $1,000. I've lived on that budget in the Philippines, Mexico, Guatemala, and those are kind of the main places. And anyways, there's a lot going on here in the States. I'm getting ready to head back out. I thought I was going to stay here longer, but I don't think I will. What I may do is end up going back to Central America, Mexico and Central America, checking some stuff out, starting a new channel, and probably just making videos on, living, you know, at the budget level, the very low end, which I recognize is not for everyone. So I understand if it's not for everyone. Part of the reason I don't talk about it as much anymore is because you get a lot of heat for talking about stuff like this and a lot of misunderstandings. I like living on a budget so I can save my money and buy tech stocks, cryptocurrencies, junior gold mining companies, base metal junior mining companies, dividend stocks, like kind of like what Warren Buffett buys, but conservative dividend stocks and shares. Anyways, that's what I do. I like to speculate and invest in certain things, so I'm always looking at what I think is cheap and what is dear, and trading various things. I also trade, well, not now, but I'm going to go back to trading options. I'm going to go back to trading options. I have a style of trading where it used to be I did like swing trades and more long-term stuff, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to go back to, like, strictly speaking, day trades. What I mean by that is open up a trade and it only lasts for 30 minutes to an hour. There are some trades that are end of the day when the options expire. So I'm either in the money or out of the money. I'm going to go back to doing that. I was very, very good at that. I had a very good win rate. What got me off track is when I started doing more longer term trades. So with the exception of shares and cryptocurrencies, like long term trades, I'm going to go back to trading more options. Anyways, that's partly why I like to live in various countries and have a low cost of living. And that's what this channel, that's basically what I like to talk about on this channel. I kind of got off on a lot of different things. Another reason I like to live overseas is because if you've been following the news lately, things aren't so great in the United States or in Europe. Inflation's really ticking up higher. My view is it'll come down and then go back up. I don't mean like a deflation, but like the rate of inflation will slow down, then we'll go back up. So for a long-term strategy, I prefer to live outside the U.S. Speaking of the Philippines, I've been doing some research. I haven't been there in a long, long time. The peso's at 52, 53. I even think today was at 54 to the dollar. I might be wrong. I think the peso could easily get to 60 pesos per dollar. The reason I'm mentioning currency and exchange rates is because I believe the dollars are going to stay stronger and get stronger. I believe emerging market currencies are going to keep trending down against the dollar. Even with all the problems in the U.S., I think that's going to be the case. I also believe At the same time this is happening, you're going to see a bull market in gold. You're going to see a bull market in what I would call like dividend shares, or large cap dividend companies, or large cap tech companies like Apple and Microsoft. Maybe not now, but we'll see in the next few years. And that being the case, and with the high cost of living in the U.S., I'd rather just soon be working outside the U.S. and living outside the U.S. Now, I'm in the enviable position where I got a job offer to work overseas, and it's more than enough money to live off of. I'm going to explore that more when I leave the U.S. and see if it works out. If it doesn't, I'll just live off my capital for a while and decide what I'll do then. But I have a few options as far as actual working. I still want to work and save money and pile up more money in trades and investing. Anyhow, that's what I'm looking to do, but probably with a different. Probably I'm going to post videos on a different channel. Let's see what else. But there's just been so much in the news lately. The United States is just as crazy as ever. My experience in the last 3 or 4 months is the cost of living in the United States is outrageous. I talk a lot on the channel about homelessness. Part of the reason I do that is because some of my mentors have talked about it, made videos on it, and you just see it everywhere. I'm in a very small community. I'm in a community of about 30,000 people. If I'm wrong, put it in the chat, but I think Alamogordo is 30,000 people, 30, 40, something like that. Even here in Alamogordo, there's 2 Walmarts. There are people standing at the Walmart when you come and go, asking for money. There are not a lot compared to like Phoenix, but you would be surprised how many homeless people are here. And that's why I like to make videos on how to live more affordably in other countries, or even live fairly cheap in the U.S., which in the past was easy for me to do, but now it's harder and harder. The last time I paid rent in the States was maybe 6 months ago. No, 6 months. Like 6 years ago. And that was St. Cloud, Minnesota. When I left, I think my rent, it was no lease, month to month. It was $500. And I think with a lease, it was $350 or $400. Those days are gone. The cheapest I ever paid in the States was $175 in a very, very small community in Iowa. And it was $175. It's 1 bedroom. It's the biggest apartment I've ever had in the States. The biggest apartment. Again, I want to stress, in a small community. I had a welding job at that time. 20 minutes to drive to the welding job. Paid $12 an hour. Easily could pay the rent. And $12 or $12.50, I can't remember. This would have been 15 or 20 years ago. This is back when I used to go back and forth to the Philippines. This is, 15, 20 years ago. And I just come back to the States, work, save some money, go back. And my rent was $175 for a really big 1 bedroom. Gas was cheap, I don't know, less than $2 a gallon. $150, probably $160, $170. But now the cost of living is outrageous. Gas has gone up. In Phoenix, when I left, it was over $5 a gallon. Here, it's $4.50, $4.60, $4.70. I think across the U.S. is about $4.50, $4.60, $4.70. The average is, I think, $6, but it might not be the average. California, I think, is at 7 or 8. I'm not sure, but before I forget, basically this video is about cost of living and high cost of living, and why I generally don't like to talk too much about living on $500,000 because you get so much hate. Well, I've been watching quite a few videos in the Philippines, and there's still people living there for $300, $400 a month. Now I realize people are going to be skeptical and they're not going to believe it, but because I spent so much time there, I know what they're doing. They're in the province. In the province and in the capital, you can get rents for $80, $90, $100. I checked with some family members who are in the Philippines, and it's still the case you can do that. I'm not talking large apartments, especially in the capital. I'm talking really small places, like a studio or 1 bedroom. I'm talking about the edge of the city. Yeah, you would be at the edge of the city. Now in Manila, it would be better if you had 400 or 500 if you want to live in Makati or the nicer areas, or Mita, Makati, places like that. I always lived on the edge of the city where it's 80, 120. Again, that was many years ago. I was really shocked to find out from my family member that you still can rent very, very cheaply. And especially in the province, like if you're going to spend 250, 300, or 400, and you don't want to live in the capital, in the province you can live for like $100 on up. And the apartments, if you pay in 400 or 500, it's going to be really, really nice, really, really nice. Anyways, I just saw a video of a guy living there for 300. Admittedly, he said it was very tough and it's very hard. So I was really surprised he could do it. I easily spent 500,000, but when I lived there, I traveled a lot more. Things cost a lot less. I had like $80 to $100 apartments. When I started out there, I had like an apartment with marble floors and a swimming pool and all that kind of nonsense. That was like 300 or 400. I can't remember, but when you start out there, you might want to start with a really beautiful, nice apartment, and then go down if you're looking to save money. But if you're not used to the culture shock, you might want to go to the nicer places. Get kind of used to how things are in the capital. Again, marble floors, swimming pool in the capital now would be more than 300 or 400. I'm talking way 20 years ago. But I was just shocked that this guy was living on 300. But when I saw it in the province and then where it was, I used to live kind of where he used to live. And he's in Samar. I lived in Samar, I don't know, a long time. Anyhow, when I lived there, I lived in a really brand new apartment, 2 bedrooms, $80 a month. Now, I would be surprised if I get that now, but according to what my friend said, a family member, I still have family members there, and in kind of Mexico and Central America, so interesting situation. I'm kind of lucky in that regard. So, I have the experience there in the family network and the friend network that maybe makes it easier for me to negotiate and get cheaper places, and then have the knowledge where to look and who to talk to. But I do believe if you go there and you put the work in and effort, you can find these places. And this is back before they had computers, but they didn't have Facebook the way it is now, Marketplace, and all these places you can check out online. And believe me, even in the Philippines, even though people will show you these cheap and expensive places online, if you go to the Philippines or Mexico or Central America, if you do boots on the ground and you knock on doors, there's so many places that are not online that can be super cheap. And by that I just mean, like say for $250, you're not going to find much online that you may like. But if you go there, there's so many places that will be $250 that are not online, that are very nice, very beautiful. For one reason or the other, they don't want to put them online, they don't know how to put them online, or it could be they want to rent to someone they know. There's a lot of reasons why people don't put their places online. Not everyone, just some people. And if you're willing to put in the legwork, or if you're willing to hire someone to put in the legwork, that's another strategy I use. And it's worked out for me, and paying someone to do that is super cheap, whether you're talking Mexico, Guatemala, Philippines. Again, I haven't lived in Thailand. I know quite a few people in Thailand, which brings me to Thailand. Because I know people there and I've known them for like a long, long time, I wanted to catch up with them about the weed law. I guess apparently marijuana is legal there. There's not a lot of guidance from the government as far as what you can smoke, what you can buy and sell legally. The gist of it was, they don't know how it's going to work out. They just made it legal. People can smoke it, and especially for medical reasons. The government in general doesn't want foreigners smoking out in the public, so they want to find a way to discourage that. And they set up a registry where if you want to sell weed legally, you can get on this registry. And so far, my understanding is millions of people looked online at it. Out of those millions of people who may be interested in signing up and getting a license to sell weed or marijuana, 800,000 people have. Now, what my friend said, and I take his meaning, is what the government's doing is finding a way to tax marijuana. That's probably why they made it legal. And if you get that license, you're going to be tracked and traced everything you do, and you can be paying tax. And if you want to do that, knock yourself out. If you want to find a nominee to do that business for you, again, knock yourself out. Like me and my friend, it's of no interest to me. And I was just talking. He's more elderly than me. He's quite a bit older than me. But like we were just talking about how you would arrange something like that in a low-profile, discreet way, which I won't share here. But that's what I would do if I lived there. And again, I don't live there. I'm probably going to go visit there, but I don't advocate ever breaking the law if you're a foreigner in these countries. Just be careful what you're doing there. Anyhow, Thailand has changed a few things. They've made marijuana legal. They're working out the details on how you can consume it, where you can buy it, and what the prices are. My friend said a gram of weed he saw people selling online or advertising online was 25 to 30 bucks a gram, which is kind of high. Now, I don't smoke weed. It's not of interest to me, but as he said, he's quite older than me. It's funny because he could spot the opportunity. That was interesting. Anyways, I want to get off that subject. More importantly, what he told me was one thing they're changing is they're going to have a new, is it not a new visa, but the visa where you fly in and you get a month or 30 days without a visa. It's a visa on demand or visa when you fly in. Not get a visa before you go, but when you just get on a plane to fly in, you just get the 30 days. They're going to change that to 45 days. Now, I asked him if he could do it at the border. He said maybe. He thought in theory he could, but until he hears, and I even hear from him and from other people that are actually doing it, I don't know. I really don't know. But what it sounds like is Thailand wants to get their tourists back because there's not a lot of tourists coming in. And from my family, my friends in the Philippines, same thing. There may be, by some people's definition, a lot of tourists, but for what they used to have, there's just not a lot of tourists now. So things are kind of cheap. There's kind of a lot of opportunities to do stuff that wasn't the case when they were booming to the extent that the Philippines ever booms. Same in Thailand. Thailand really boomed, and that's just all gone, all done. Some of that stuff may never come back. I don't know. It's not necessarily my favorite place for a plan B, but I do want to check it out, and I do want to visit. I just know so many people there. I really want to kind of catch up with people. Part of the reason why I want to go to the Philippines for 6 or 8 months is catch up with people I know and then people I don't know who I just know online. The bad thing about doing research online, going on YouTube and getting in the Facebook groups, there's still the same kind of jerks online that are going to badmouth you if you want to live on a budget and if you ask questions about it, or badmouth you if you want to do this or that or whatever. Like, anyhow, online is like it's always been with gringos and foreigners. Everyone's cussing each other out and bad-mouthing each other just for asking, hey, can I live there for $500,000? No, you can't. Please leave the country, you peasant. Anyways, I don't really care one way or the other. I know what I do. I know how I'm going to do it. I know I'm lucky because I've been there so many times. I have so many contacts there and family members. I can kind of roll up in there, even have a free place to stay, which is good for me. Anyways, that's one benefit. If you have a network of people around the world, you can roll up in countries and oftentimes just stay with friends and have minimal expenses, at least for when you're looking around for a place to stay or information on jobs. When I say jobs, I mean more like online jobs and online work, with networking with other foreigners and local people, when you have boots on the ground. What I like about Mexico and the Philippines, I know a lot of Mexicans and Filipinos. They mostly all speak English, and we all have similar interests. And just because of our experiences in the States and outside of the States, it's a cool thing where we get to share information on what we're doing, what you can do in the States now, what you can do in Mexico now, what you can do in the Philippines, and kind of all that stuff. Anyways, that's it for now. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'm probably going to start a new channel, and I'll leave details if anyone's interested. Have a great day.